No friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me.
What's up, friends and family? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you a Motivational Monday on Tuesday because I couldn't get to it yesterday, but I did not want to leave you comfortless. For all my people out there, holla at your boy. Don't come in the room, in the house, and don't let me know you out there. Say what's up. And for all my people that are listening via replay, please give me about a minute and a half as I share this out to my my top 5. Just remember, I'm asking you to do the same exact thing. If they can't grow with you, then they can't go with you. So if you got family and friends that you want to see take this journey with you, by all means, please get up, share this, type names. Hey, Vaniqua, I am happy to be back. Please type names in the box. I don't know how you share this on YouTube. However you share it on YouTube, go ahead, get to it. Because I don't necessarily know how to share it on YouTube. It'd be nice if somebody could tell me how. But I know on Facebook, go ahead and start tagging people in it. Type names down there in the box. I'm from a disclosed remote location tonight. And I know I had to come on this week. I didn't come on the previous 2 weeks, and I just could not miss 3 weeks in a row. We were on vacation last week, and it was a great moment for me to unplug and just go and just spend time with the family, eat some French fries, as many French fries as I chose to eat. I got an opportunity to hang out at the beach, love on my kids, love on my wife. It was a really good time to be able to do those things. And if you would, please, I'm starting to see the odds add up. If you would, man, shout your boy out and let me know you're out there. I'm sharing it one more place, y'all. Let me share it to these groups. And then we're going to commence to break breaking on this Tuesday afternoon. Man, I don't even know what to do coming on a Tuesday. It's been so long since I've been on a Tuesday, but this bread must commence to being broken. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. Go ahead and tell your mama and them to hop on here. What's up out there, Facebook? I see you out there, YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Your boy kind of getting his voice back right now. You know, anytime I'm outside too much, allergies and all this kind of stuff, that type of season. But tonight, I want to get with you. I want to get with you for a brief moment. Thank you, Vaniqua. And tonight, episode 146 of Awaken, Your I Am, from a remote disclosed location, and let the bread breaking commence. Tonight, for a brief moment, I want to talk to you about sacrifice. Like, there's so many people out there that have goals, they have dreams. I'm going to sit back tonight. I'm going to take my time with this conversation, not tonight. I'm going to lean back, prop my foot up. There's so many people out there with goals and with dreams, and they have a desire in for their life. They know what they want. They know what I need to do to get there. They understand the path, and the way will not be easy. They understand that the gift or the goal comes with opposition. A lot of people out there get those points. And I think when when young children are in grade school, and it's funny because Christian just did his on their notebook at school, they made it almost like a vision board. So on the outside of his notebook, he had to draw what Christian wanted to do. And so Christian drew a basketball with the Evo sign, the new basketballs they play with, and he wrote Duke University, number 32, high school class of 2031. And he drew his vision board out. Christian is 9, and Christian knew exactly what it was that he was drawing out at the time. And for a lot of us, when we start a new journey, we know exactly what it is that we want. We have an idea of what the desired end is supposed to look like. Come on, I'm going somewhere tonight. Y'all get in this conversation with me. We have a good idea of what I want. But the gap becomes is what I want, I understand, but what am I willing to sacrifice in order to get there? That's always the question for me and to me. What am I willing to sacrifice to get there? That's like I love Reverend James Cleveland said the road hadn't been easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I don't believe that he brought me to this moment in time in my life to leave me stranded. I don't believe that I had this goal and this dream of more, and I never could accomplish. I don't believe that God, he gave me he gave me an unction inside of my spirit. He gave me a gift on the inside of me. I don't believe that he brought me this far to leave me. Come on, man. Somebody need to hear that deep down in your spirit today. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. When I had that vision, I was watching the news and I saw, and they were talking about the kids of Uvalde, the kids that were shot in the school. It was just an act of cowardness. And I heard the parents talking about what those kids wanted to be when they grew up. I heard the lawyers, I heard the doctors, I heard he wanted to be a police officer, and I heard the dreams. If you go in any elementary school right now, 99.9% of the kids will not say, my goal is to work at Walmart. They will not say, my goal is to be a dishwasher. They will not say, my goal is to do some small thing. You will hear, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a director of nursing, or I want to be a motivational speaker, or I want to be a basketball player. I want to be a rapper. I want to be an actor. I want to be a doctor. And they come up with all these grand ideas of what they want to do. Motivational teacher, what happens from the time that I make that declaration to the time I get 25 and I understand what it takes to get there? Motivational teacher, what happens in the gap? Oh, I'm gonna break bread tonight. I am going to break bread tonight. What happens in that gap, motivational teacher? I'll tell you what happens in that gap. In between making that declaration and seeing it completely through, there's that part of that gap that we call life. No one listening to the sound of my voice is extinct from what we call life. Oh my God, I'm gonna break bread right now. I know in life, we think life is supposed to be a straight path to success. I know in life I'm supposed to get married and be married for 80 years to the same spouse. I know that when I took that job and I took the promotion, it was supposed to get me to the next level in life. I know when I thought I got a pay raise, I would be able to save money, but I wasn't able to save money. And now I have less at the end of the month than I had before I got the raise. When I joined this church, I thought me and my kids, I would marry my kids in this church and we would be there forever. I thought when I got this job, this 401k, I thought this 401k would retire me. Motivational teacher, what happens in between what I think and what I want? Life happens. Life happens. The one thing I love about the great I am, who awakens our I am, the one thing that I love about the great I am is that he gives nobody everything. Anybody that has accomplished any amount of success out here in this world, at some point they had to earn some of it. I know it's easy to say that the Walton kids were born to Bill Walton, the CEO of Walmart. I know it's easy to say that Bill Gates kids got it well off. I know it's easy to say that Michael Jordan kids, they have it well off. But I'm telling you, even in the process of them being well off, life happened. And it's how we respond to life that ultimately determines what's our success or what our path look like. Come on, Vaniqua. Ultimately, how we respond to external stimuli in our life determines the amount of success that we have on this side of the dirt. What happens? I want to be an NBA player. I want to go to the NBA. Motivational teacher. You were Mr. Alabama. You went to Division I school. Why didn't you make it to the NBA? Life happened. And it's funny because when I go back and I look, and that's the one thing I say about, we got to be able to ask ourselves we have to be able to be honest with ourselves. When I go back and I look over my life and I say, okay, Aunt, let's be real with you, because if you can't learn from the past, you can't grow from the past. It's okay to go back and visit where did it go wrong, so when I see that same stimuli again, I can respond differently. So I go back into when I left high school, my goal was the NBA. The first summer of my senior year of high school, going into my freshman year of at Vanderbilt, we always had guys that played in the NBA and that played overseas. They will always come back and play pickup with us at Vanderbilt. And I saw Ron Mercer, a blast from the past. I saw a bunch of these guys that played in the NBA that were role players. And I said, man, these dudes are way too good. They're way too gifted. And before I even played my first year at Vanderbilt, my first basketball game at Vanderbilt, because of that summer run, I had ruled out the NBA. And I decided, man, you better go to class and get your degree, because you see how gifted, how talented, how athletic these guys are, and you see how they're playing right now. You didn't have any of that coming up. You don't have any of that today. So I committed to myself, before I ever play a basketball game at Vanderbilt, that I couldn't make it to the NBA, and that I needed to go to class and get my degree. I will say I got my degree. And I will say I did not go to the NBA, and I made that decision before ever playing in one college basketball games. I say that to say this to us, like, what areas, what stimuli in our lives have we run into and we've accepted it to be the Bible truth? What areas of our lives have I said, man, I had one setback, I was discouraged one summer, and I gave up on what I thought my goals and my dreams were, because like it didn't look favorable watching those guys play. When you make up in your mind that it's not yours, like Vaniqua just said, you're not willing to give blood, sweat, and tears, literally. When you decide on the inside of you, I can't have it. You like, let me conserve in this area so I can give more in that area. And to my point, I did get a degree in 4 years. To my point, I got a nice job out of college. When I did a normal person's life, and I'm doing great. And I'm not saying this to go back to be discouraged about what I've accomplished. I'm going back to say I know where I gave up on that NBA dream. And just as soon as I see that place again, I can identify. As a 17-year-old, it's hard to identify your emotions and what you're going through. But now as a 43-year-old, I'm more aware of what the truth is. See, I'm telling you, I wish that I had a motivational teacher in my life back then to help me understand how to oh my God, that's a great word. How to discern the stimuli that's going on around me. I wish I had a mentor who had walked this path before and could help me understand that everything around me is not real. But the ideas and the thoughts that I materialize on the inside of me is what's going to manifest on the outside of me. And I know exactly when I said I couldn't do it. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. And I'm saying this so you can be more conscious and deliberate about the decisions that you're making. I want you to be more locked in and tuned in to your own emotions as it relates to moments in time where you don't think you're good enough, or you don't think you're great enough, or you don't think you're gifted enough, or you don't think you're powerful enough. I need for you to be in tune with your emotions at that moment, and to be able to make the declaration and make the confession that I'm more than enough. I just broke bread right there. Somebody better holler at your boy. I got some people on Facebook saying they can't get in for whatever reason. I don't know why, but we're gonna keep this show moving. They're gonna have to go back and get the replay. We gotta be more in tune. Vaniqua chimed into this conversation. Where you were 10 years ago, same place where you were 10 years ago. Come on. We got to be in tune with what's going on the inside of me, lest we sit here and we take this stimuli as truth and we make life-altering decisions based on what we've seen in the past or based on what my emotions are telling me that's true. It sounds like I can talk about it now. And the reason why I can talk about it now is because there's no condemnation in me about the decision that I made then. When I was young, I thought as a child. When I became old, I began to think. You got to speak, understand, and think as a man. Or you, I love it this way. I speak. When I was a boy, I spoke, I understood, and I thought as a boy. When I became a man, I put away childish things, which means now that I speak, I understand, and I think as one who is learned. A grown man has nothing to do with your age, or being a grown adult has nothing to do with your age. There are grown people that are 40 and 50 years old that have the same mind as a 14-year-old. Why? Because they speak, they understand, and they think as one that is 12 or 14. Age does not give you the pathway to maturity. I just broke bread. Because you add an extra number every year doesn't mean that you're more mature than you were the year before. Bread broken. That's a bread breaking moment. I know some of us believe that, hey, that if I just keep living, if I live long enough, I eventually become mature. I'm telling you, that's a lie from the pits. I'm telling you that your age has very little to do with your growth and development, but I'm telling you has very little to do with the number of years on your life, and that it's more about your growth and your development than it is anything else. See, for somebody right there, that ought to be enough to make you run around the house, because I know what they told you. I got some people chiming in this conversation on Facebook. Facebook is not showing us, so I got to look at it on my phone. Thank you, Elkie. Hey, Virginia. Virginia said I wanted to lose weight. She said I got to give up snacks. I got to give up all this late night eating. Thank you for joining us, Elkie, and thank you for joining us tonight. I see you, Edwin. I see my cousin Carl out there. Thank you for joining us, Carl. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Tonight, we're just having a conversation, man. We're just having a conversation. Thank y'all for joining us for this conversation, because there is no success without sacrifice. There is no success without sacrifice. Instead of me saying, hey, Aunt, we got to double down on 2-a-day workouts during that summer season. Instead of me saying, hey, Aunt, you're going to have to get in the gym, 10% more than everybody else. Instead of saying, hey, Aunt, you're going to stay after and you're going to go early to be able to make up that gap. No, my first inclination was to say that it must not be meant for me. That was my first inclination. And the challenge that I had was, at 17, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know I was me. I didn't know what an awakened I am was. I had no knowledge or no clue that there was a giant on the inside of me just waiting on me to make 2 or 3 right decisions for this giant in me to manifest. And it's the same for you. It's the exact same for you. There's a giant deep down on the inside of you, and is waiting for you to make 2 or 3 decisions in harmony with the great I am who awakens your I am, for that beast to come into fruition and to attract everything that you ever wanted out of your life to you. Man, I'm telling you. My sister chiming into this conversation. Can you repeat what you said about success? Taylor didn't hear. Talking about my niece. There is no success without sacrifice. You get to the, come on, this is for my niece right here, TB. TB, I'm going to call you out by name. You can only receive to the level of sacrifice that you're willing to give. If your goal is to be in the gym the same amount of time as everybody else, you're going to be average. And the thing I love about God is the seed is always within itself. Like if I want more of something, I have to sow more of it. If I want to be a better basketball player, Taylor, I gotta go out and I gotta work at it more. The seed is always inside of itself. There's no other way around it. There's no other way around it. But at the moment, going into my freshman year, I had no idea. She said, but what I know now, I'm about to run out this room, talk in the mic, Vaniqua. Talk in the mic, Vaniqua. Man, and oh my God, I said the key has always been the knowledge gap. If I don't know who I am, I can never respond from that awaken I am. I'm gonna say that one. Okay, I'm gonna say that one more time. If I don't know, number one, whose I am and who I am, I can never respond from my awaken I am. I gave you one example of my life of how I made the decision from my background that I grew up in. We grew up in lack. We didn't have a lot. So I made a decision based on my environment, and I didn't make a decision based on faith and what the great I am said about me. And the main part is the reason why I couldn't, because I had never, oh my God. Can I go here? Can I go here? My niece said, Taylor, why are you calling me out like this in front of millions of people? Taylor, I am calling you out in front of millions of people because when you in the WNBA, they don't have to wonder how you got there. They know that you worked your way to the WNBA or you worked your way to the front office to own the Los Angeles Sparks. They're going to know you got there through paying the price. You don't have to worry about doing no interviews and talking about how they going to know that you got there through listening to this message and what it takes to get there. See, I think I'm going to say, I'm from Wavell, Alabama. I'm going to say this. Man, I'm trying, I want to frame this in a way that is palatable. I want to frame this in a way to which it doesn't lead to condemnation, but it leads to growth. And sometimes, in order for us to have growth that remains, we have to be able to look in the mirror and admit that I've been a part of my own problem. I have to be able to look in the mirror and say that I haven't always, I think Vaniqua kind of alluded to it. If I knew what I knew now 10 years ago, she said, but now I know what I know. And here it is. That so many of us are so life focused, general life focused, that we're losing ground on where we're supposed to specialize. Let me break that down a little bit. Like we're doing so many different things to try to make ends meet. That I'm not focused in the one area that's my gift will make room for me in the end. Now I know motivational teacher. I'm more than a basketball player. I'm more than a people manager. I'm more than a marketer. I'm more than an uncle. I'm more than a dad. I'm more than a father. I know that. But Malcolm Gladwell said that it takes 10,000 hours in any one area for you to be considered an expert, which means you'll be above the top 5% of America in that one area. And there's so many of us that are jacks of all trades that we've not mastered any. I'm not saying drop everything, run, go quickly to be whatever it is. I'm saying that I got to start being more intentional with my thoughts. I got to start being more intentional with my time so that I can mature some gifting within me. Help me out, motivational teacher. What do you mean? There's so many of us that are just working to pay bills. Trust me, I'm not saying that we don't pay bills. There's so many of us. We go to our 8 to 5, our 9 to 5. We go there, we come home, we do nothing more, nothing less. Cook for our family, spend a little time with our kids, go back to bed, wake up the next day and do it. And then we pray Friday to get here. So Saturday morning, I can do what I want to do on my own. And I'm saying that mindset as it pertains to life is going to get you a nice little life where, you know, you'll be remembered when you die, but will you accomplish the overall total will of God for your life? Will you maximize your I am? And until we start asking ourselves these questions, I can't commit to paying the price for what I honestly don't know what should I be sacrificing for. I can tell you this, if nothing else, my kids growing up in my house will have some aim of which to give themselves to. You're going to put 10,000 hours in some area, and we'll do other things on the end. We're a motivational teacher. What if that's not what they're supposed to be doing? If it's not what they're supposed to be doing, it'll be the thing that leads them to the thing that they're supposed to be doing. This is what I know, that every moment, every situation that we encounter in our life, come on, we just settle. Every moment, every area in our life, every situation that we encounter, what I do know is it's a growth and development moment. Yeah, I just broke bread. See, we think the things that happen to us or happen from us or happen for us are all isolated events. I'm about to mess up some of y'all life right now. I'm about to mess up some of your thinking about your own life, and you don't even know it yet. Hey, mom, I'm about to mess up what you think right now. Listen to your boy. We think that everything I went through has been a bunch of isolated events. We think that me not being able to pay the bills is an isolated event. We think that going to this job and just getting over broke is an isolated event. We think the relationship that I'm in and it just ain't quite working, we think it's an isolated event. We think when something goes well, it's just an isolated event. What if I told you, oh my God, I'm going to do this tonight. What if I told you that every event, every toss, every turn, every thought, every external stimuli that you encounter has all been orchestrated from heaven? What if I tell you that none of the things that you saw in your life that has happened to you in your life was never meant to take you out? It was all meant to be for your growth and development. That summer where I saw Ron Mercer and all those NBA guys playing, that summer was never for me to say that I couldn't get to the NBA. That summer was to reveal to me the work that I had to do in order to get to the NBA. I saw the external stimuli and I interpreted the data incorrectly. And I made a decision based on bad data, based on a bad information systems. I made a decision. I was thinking as a child, but I had to progress my thinking to that of a man. I spoke, I understood, and I thought as a man. I had to increase my thinking. And now that I've gotten to this place in my life, oh my God, I'm going to say this. God is restoring everything that the cankerworm stole. My sons and I are going to have the opportunity to go to the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas and be on the court with the players and get to watch it from a player's point of view. How motivational teacher? Because man, listen to me. All of it, I'm telling you, he will restore the years that the cankerworm stole, but he can never get to restoration as long as you're still interpreting external stimuli the wrong way. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. Somebody got to holler at your boy on that one. Somebody got to holler at your boy on that one. He will absolutely restore the years of everything you think you lost. Come here, Job. You need a witness to the table, don't you? See, everything that you going through, I'm gonna break bread on this. Y'all better tell mama and them to get on here, grandmama and them to get on here. Everything that let me say it this way. Everything that you've been through, everything that you're going through, and everything that you will go through is all stimuli. When I say stimuli, it means nothing. It means nothing, but it's just a random event until you decide how to interpret the data. My dad walked out on me. Somebody said, interpret that data as my dad didn't love me. And because your dad walked out on you, you interpreted it as he didn't love me. And now you make decisions from that place of insecurity about your dad not loving you. And you go out and be with men that are not your husband because you want to feel daddy's touch. It is not because daddy left you. It's because of how you interpret the data that daddy left you. Oh my God, that's a good bread breaking moment. Whereas somebody else's dad could have left. My daddy left me, but my daddy didn't know his daddy. So my daddy automatically outperformed his daddy. So I understand that he moved the bar forward. And so now I got to learn so I can move the bar forward for my generation. It's all about how you stimuli. It means nothing until you internalize it. Your whole life has been a set of stimuli. Come on, Virginia. Your whole life has been a set of stimuli where we've had to interpret the data. Some data we interpreted well, some data we didn't interpret well, but we eat the fruit of however land we interpreted it. You need a witness, don't you? I told you everything that happened to Job was to bring him at a desired end. There's nothing that God and Satan, whoever, already had a deal that you could not touch his life. See, you got the same kind of deal over your life right now. I'm going to sit back on that one. Selah. Pause and calmly think about that. Pause and calmly think about that. You have the same deal over your life. The devil was roaming to and fro and wanted to know, can I get your daughter Vaniqua? Can I get Margarita? What about Virginia? Is she up for grabs right now? You can't touch. They got a hedge around her life. You can do all these different things, but you can't touch her. You can make it seem like she might have cancer. You can make it seem like she might have diabetes. You can make it seem like she don't have any money in the bank. You can make it seem like they might be about to fire her. You can make it seem like she about to be in a foreclosure. But what you cannot do is touch her. All those things were external stimuli, and how we interpreted that data determined what our next best action would be. So God, why does God do it that way? Why did God put me in a situation? God never put you in a situation. The great I am never put you in that situation. Your decisions, your actions, your thoughts, your interpretation of stimuli put you in that situation. If your interpretation, come on, Vaniqua, I'm gonna call you to the stand. If your interpretation of stimuli can put you in that situation, then your interpretation of stimuli can rescue you from the same situation. I just broke, they're gonna kick me out of here tonight. I just broke bread. Somebody better holler at your boy. Boy, I just broke bread. Your interpretation of the stimuli, what's up, Ab? If your interpretation of the stimuli can put you in there, then your interpretation of the stimuli can also rescue you. It can also rescue you. All at the same time. All at the same time. I'm about to break bread. All in the same, in my body. I am the prisoner and I am the warden. All at, oh my God, I'm the prisoner and I'm the warden all at the same time. I possess the ability to lock me in the cell, but I also possess the ability to walk me out the cell. All in my, don't come telling me what the system won't allow you to do. Don't bring that big talk to me about how the man set me back. Don't bring that big talk to me about every time I try to get up, somebody knock me down. No, you, the only person that can pick you up or knock you down is you. That's a bread-breaking moment. The moment we stop blaming other people. I'm not a fan of AA. I am not a fan of Alcoholic Anonymous, but I will say the one thing they have right is you have to admit that I have a problem. Now, I wouldn't dare tell you to say I'm an alcoholic. No, you're not an alcoholic. You're whole maintaining your health, but you do have to acknowledge I'm not an alcoholic, but I do have a problem with alcohol. And I think some of us have not gotten to the place where we can admit that it wasn't my daddy that made me like this. It wasn't my mama that made me like this. It was me that made me like this. It was my decision. My mama, my daddy leaving, me dropping out of college, me losing a job was all external stimuli. Me deciding I can't go to the end, it was all external stimuli until I got to the place where I can operate at when I can, let me say it this way. I got to the place where I could stop understanding as a child. And I can become a man by changing my system of how I speak, I understand, and how I think. Now that makes me the ability to be able to have what the cankerworm, for God to be able to restore what the cankerworm stole. Now he gives him the ability to go back and make the wrong rights. Oh my God, that's a prayer breaking moment. Oh, it gives me the ability, my boy Joe, that I can have more than I had before. Y'all sleeping on your boy. Y'all sleeping on your boy. I totally expect for my life to yield more results, more influence, more impact, more resources than if I had gone to the NBA, because the one thing I know is that he will restore. He is the God of restoration. He is the God of redemption. He is the great I am of redemption. What I do know is that what I walked away from. Oh, I'm breaking bread right now. That I know he is he will restore us. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. Y'all too quiet out there. I don't know, my system broke. I don't know what's going on. If I heard this, I'm like Vaniqua. I'll be running around the room right now, because everything that I had stolen in the right mindset and my right interpretation of the stimuli, I changed the situation. I think, why I call myself the motivational teacher is because I think all people need is a system. I think people need to know that I can win. I think people need to know that I'm more than what I am. I think people need to know that who I am today is not finite. I think people need to know that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what's laid up for you. I think people need to know that there's more to me than what meets the eye. I think people need to know that he that's on the inside, he that's in me is greater than he that's in the world. I think people need to know that what I have, you cannot duplicate it. I am an original. I think people need to know the things that when I put my hands to that plow, I made some mistakes, but the things I gave up, he's going to give me double for my trouble. And people need to understand and get systems. Come on, Vaniqua. People need systems on how to get from where I was to where I am and to where I want to be. That's why I'm the motivational teacher. Not only do I come to give you hope, but I come to help you understand that for you to build a system around your life that allows you to have total life prosperity. Any area where you lack success doesn't mean that I wasn't meant to have it. It just means that I'm not working the right systems in order to have that success. That means I got to go and change how I speak, how I understand, and how I think in that area in order to grow myself up. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I kept my mind on childish things. But when I became a man or a woman, I put away childish things. How do you put away childish things? Age doesn't mean that I put away childish things. You need systems around your life that yields you total life prosperity. It doesn't matter about what they told you, and technically, it doesn't matter what you've done up until this point. It only matters of how you respond to this bread that's being broken today. And I see eyes come on here, and the eyes vacillate between 15, 17, 8, 9. I see them, and I'm wondering, like, man, I hope they got a better way. And if you got a better way, please invite me to your podcast, or invite me to your church, or invite me to your whatever you got if you know a better system. Because I'm telling you what I know from the deep. If I popped on here and heard some of this stuff, man, you would have to peel me off this computer. You would have to take me off. I would listen to this 5, 6, 7, 10 times a week until I saw what I think I need to see. But the challenge for a lot of us to got Vanika chiming into this conversation. Vanika, I want to hit one that you said earlier. She said, if I had to pass that test 2 years ago when I was going through it, I would have just been an average nurse at a job with no plans to continue grinding. She said, but look at me now. To think I could have let my past determine my future. Hey, what's up, Pat? I know. And that's why I love it when he said these small afflictions. My boy said these are just small afflictions. Oh my God. And these small afflictions, can I break bread? You know why the reason why he called them small afflictions? Because what I'm going through doesn't determine my ultimate outcome. So in this midst of my ultimate life, these things are small. These things are small. And I love that story of Vanika because it speaks to the point that, yeah, I failed it, but even that worked together for my good. If I hadn't failed that test, director of nursing would not be my aim. I would just be an average nurse walking around the halls with my blue suit on, just doing average behaviors. But because I saw the test, the test had nothing to do with my self-esteem. Now, I'm speaking for Vanika right now. I understand that I failed a test and all the tests were stimuli to see how would I respond. Maybe I had to go back and tweak my study habits. Maybe I had to go back and tweak how I was managing my time. Maybe I had to go back and tweak my commitment level to the test. But what I didn't do is internalize that this must not be meant for me. Well, it's not my season. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to be a nurse. Maybe I'm supposed to be a police officer. Maybe I'm supposed to be EMT on the ambulance. I'm not going to allow that stimuli to take me off my course. Because even if I'm supposed to be an EMT, or even if I'm supposed to be a police officer, me attaining this goal will not affect if that's my destiny and that's my course. It can only enhance it. See, people get paralysis of analysis because they're so worried, am I doing what's right? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Stop focusing so much. What's up, Keisha? Stop focusing so much on whether I'm in the right vein or not, and learn how to give yourself to something, because whether you're in the right vein or not, whether you're in your gifting or your calling or not, won't matter as much as the fact that I learned what the process is of giving myself to something, of committing to a process and sticking with it. Now, I notice like a lot of jobs now require you to have a 4-year degree. They don't require you to have a 4-year degree and in a particular subject matter. They require you to have a 4-year degree, and they only do that to show, hey, I started the process, I stuck to the process, I finished the process. That's why college applications look at, like if you're a black belt, if you had a black belt while you were in high school, or if you played sports, you were on the debate team, they look at all that stuff favorably, not because it gives you some extraordinary skill set, because it says that I'm able to start a process, stick with the process, and see the process through. And guess what? The great I am is just like a college application. I don't want to know what you know. That's a bread-breaking moment right there. I want to know if you're emotionally competent. I want to know, do you have the emotional intelligence to start something, to stay with something, and to finish something until that desired season is over. I know. What's up, Jannard? Thank you for joining us, bro. I know. What motivational teacher to the masses. Like you said a lot tonight. Motivational teacher to the masses. Like, I don't know if I can rebound from that. Motivational teacher, I don't know how to pick up the pieces. It's been so bad for so long, motivational teacher. I don't know how to pick up the pieces. Motivational teacher, I've just made so many bad decisions that I don't know if I could get back on course. And I'm telling you here tonight, that there's nothing wrong with you, period. There's greatness on the inside of you, but we have to commit to speaking, understanding, and thinking as a man and not a child, or as a woman and not a child. And our sacrifice is going to always determine our success. You want to know what marriage can make it? It's the one with a husband and a wife both sacrificing. It's a marriage where I am trying to give my spouse the advantage. You want to know what marriages work the best? It's the one where I'm gonna go the extra mile because I want them to have the advantage. I love this. We should say this in our Baptist church growing up. You can't be God-given no matter how bad you try. We should have that same mindset with our spouse. You want to know what marriage works? The one that walks in with that mindset. She ain't gonna beat me giving. No. She ain't gonna outgive me. Those are the ones that make it, because we know sacrifice determines the value. To the level of which I'm willing to sow, give, and sacrifice determines what value you hold in my life. And the great I am is looking at your process the same way. At what point are you willing to give more of yourself to this vision than what you're asking me? I prayed that he did this. He said, no, the great I am who awakens your I am is saying, at what point are you willing to give to this process as if it's just you? I don't want you to lean on me as if I'm your crutch. I don't want to be your crutch. I want you to believe. I want you to work as if it's on you and believe as it's on me. Sacrifice determines the value. Man, I don't think I could have been any more real here tonight. Episode 146, Awaken Your I Am. A Motivational Monday on a Tuesday night. And I will go on record to say for myself that bread was broken tonight. I hope, and I see my audience is split because I got to look at Facebook on my phone. I got all YouTube comments here. So I tried to keep up. I got Pat chime in this conversation. Could it be that we are self-sabotaging our vision? Fear will make us stop. Past history. Pat, I'm gonna break bread. It's always self-sabotage when we don't make it to where we think we should be. It's always self-sabotage. The one thing I love about God is that he gave no other man the authority or power over your life other than you. If you accept somebody else's visions for your life, it's not them who's creating that vision for your life, it's you who's creating that vision for your life. No matter what they believe or think about you, that cannot affect the way you live until you believe and think what they say about you. That's a bread-breaking moment. That's a bread-breaking moment, that nobody controls your mind, your thinking, but you. I want you to show up for you. I want you to show up for you. A lot of us know how to show up for everybody else except us. I know how to show up for my kids. I know how to show up for my spouse. I know how to show up for my siblings. But how many of us know how to show up for us? When the last time you said, I'm going to make my growth and development a priority? When the last time you said, I am the sacrifice? When was the last time you said, okay, I'm gonna give up my hour and a half of TV, and I'm gonna go read this book, or I'm gonna go listen to the motivational teacher to the masses, Motivational Tuesday again? When the last time have you made yourself a priority? We're praying and asking God to rain down from heaven, and yet we haven't put ourselves in natural position to build the book. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. Well, you better go start gathering wood. One thing Noah did, he showed up for Noah. He went and started gathering wood before the first drop fell. And my question to you is, and my question to me is, what are we doing to show up? Oh, that's a bread-breaking moment. How am I showing up for me? See, I'm going to break bread right here. Hey, Felinda, thank you for joining us. I'm going to break bread right here. Oh, my God, can I do this? And it's going to sound selfish. I'm going to go ahead and say it. To the natural ear, this is going to sound very selfish. This is going to sound very selfish to the natural ear, but I'm going to say it anyway. you showing up for you should be a priority. You showing up for you should be a priority. You showing up for you makes you a better mom. You showing up for you makes you a better dad. You showing up for you makes you a better boss. You showing up for you makes you a better whatever you want to be. You showing up for you. The challenge, we've been taught and we've learned how to show up for everybody else. And we've yet to learn how to make myself a priority as it relates to my growth and development. I'm not talking about no Gucci bag, no Gucci purse, no red bottoms. I'm not talking about, a Bugatti. I'm not talking about that Maserati. I'm not talking about that car. I'm talking about as it relates to your growth and development. As you make yourself a priority in your growth and development and you start paying the price, and you start saying, okay, my sacrifice is that I got to give up Monday Night Football, or my sacrifice is that I might have to walk away from, the Real Housewives of Atlanta for a season so I can show up for me. You're worth the sacrifice. You are worth the sacrifice. It's going to yield you so much more results 3, 5, 10 years down the road if you show up for yourself instead of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Instead of you show up for yourself instead of the Dallas Cowboys. If you show up for yourself versus whatever it is that you invest in time in where there are no spoils. Sacrifice determines the value. Man, I just broke bread. I got ET chiming into this conversation. Hey, what's up, Ed? Not selfish at all. You can only give out of what you have. If you're empty, you have nothing to share with others. Bread broken. Bread broken. Yep. We should always share from our overflow. If you got nothing to give, man, it's just a matter of time. Said, wait now, the Housewives of Atlanta. Yep. Sometimes I can't show up for what's the name, the tall lady, Nene Leakes. I can't show up for Nene Leakes. This, I don't know when the Real Housewives of Atlanta come on. This Tuesday night, whatever night it is, Thursday night, Friday, whatever it is, that night I gotta show up for me. I've given my past 12 weeks to Nene Leakes. I've given my last 12 weeks to Arthur Blank and the Cowboys. I've given my 12 weeks to Pop and the Spurs. And now I gotta show up for me. And we gotta commit to that process. What's up, Julie? Thanks for joining me. We got to make that commitment that I got to show up for me, man. Like me, I've done enough things for a lot of other people. I make commitments to other people that have stretched me thin. Now is my time to show up for me. And the best example we can be for our kids is allowing them to see what it means to show up for themselves. Allowing them to see that greatness is not incubated under a microscope of mediocrity. Greatness is only incubated in a place where you live outside of your comfort zone, meaning that I have to show up. The best example you can be to I know a lot of us live our lives and we make so many sacrifices for our kids, but the best example we can give to our kids is the example of what it means to show up for yourself. What it means for you to pour into you. And so when they see you do it, it becomes a natural response for them to do the same. Y'all, number one, I want to thank y'all for showing up for yourself on a Tuesday night. I want to thank you for showing up. I know I came on impromptu. It's not Motivational Monday, had north of 20 eyes. So thank the 20 eyes that showed up for yourself. I'm challenging you this week, find ways. Maybe instead of taking an hour lunch at work, take you 45 minutes and go outside for 15 minutes and show up for yourself. I'm going to listen to 15 minutes of this Motivational Tuesday. Or I'm going to take my favorite, whatever my favorite book is, instead of me spending an hour smoking and joking with the fellas on break, I'm going to take me 15, 20 minutes to show up for myself. Let's start finding and being intentional about those moments to where we can prioritize our growth and development. Because guess what? If you don't prioritize you and your growth and development, nobody else will. They will continue to pay you what they believe your worth is. Yo, thank you, Vaniqua. Appreciate it. Appreciate you on any day. Thank you, Vaniqua. Yo, it's your boy, My mom said, be intentional. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. I came again tonight on a Tuesday night to drop some fresh bread, some nuggets that are good for living, man. I missed y'all the last 2 weeks, so I couldn't miss another week. Man, who knows, man? I might pop on later in the week to break just a little. I'm going to say this. I break bread on Mondays, but I might be here to drop a few crumbs at another period of time. Holla at your boy. Thank y'all for joining this conversation. Y'all truly make the difference, and y'all elevate this conversation with your comments and with your thoughts in the chat box. We are one community growing and improving on what God has called us to be. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war.